Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Honeybird Studio Podcast. My name is Jenny, and you can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as Honeybird Studio. It's been quite a while since my last recording, and I have quite a bit to show. Just a brief explanation of why I've been gone for so long is, so last year I went to Knit City in October, and I think it was like the first weekend of October, and it was like super fun. I was super inspired. I had 4 projects in mind, and I bought yarn for those 4 projects plus a couple of extras. And I was super excited and inspired to go home and knit. And then life just got busy, and knitting kind of fell by the wayside. And so for the last couple of months, or like the last bit of 2021, I wasn't knitting very much. Basically, anything that I started, I would get maybe an hour or 2 into, and then I just kind of would lose steam on it, and it just seemed like, I don't know, I got busy with other things, and so I just wasn't knitting as much. However, as you can tell by the pile of stuff I've got here, I have been knitting quite a bit so far this year. I think it was like a week or 2 into January, my motivation to knit just came back. Like, it just reappeared and was like, hey, let's knit all the things. And so I've knit all the things. I finished pretty much, sorry if you can hear the cars or the motorcycle. I'll wait. No? Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So there were projects that I started last year that I just completely lost motivation to work on. And in January, I just started picking them up and basically finishing them, casting them off the needles, and it just, feels really good. So I have quite a few finished objects to show. Basically everything I've knit everything I've finished since January. So let's jump into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about is actually what I'm wearing, because it is another finished object. So this is the Whitmoor sweater, and this is by Amy Lowden. Sorry if I'm looking over there, I've got my show notes. But yeah, so this is a yoked sweater, or top down, and you can see it's got this beautiful lace detail that goes all the way around the yoke. It continues down the sleeves, and on the back, sorry, I'm kind of close to the camera, so I'll make sure to include a picture of what it looks like by itself, so you can get a better idea. But yeah, so it's got a beautiful yoke. It was really, what's the word? Like, I couldn't put it down. I wanted to get through all the lace. I think I probably did the yoke in two sittings, I think. It's a really easy to follow chart, very well written. I think I made the 3rd size. I think it's the 3rd size that I made. And I think I followed the pattern exactly, except for the body, where I knit the body longer. I just like a longer sweater, so I knit, I think, 2 or 3 extra inches, just to hit the length that I like. The yarn that I used is Wild Earth Yarns Somerset DK. This yarn came from New Zealand. A friend of mine was visiting New Zealand last year, and so I purchased this yarn online and had it sent to them, and then when they came back, they dropped off the yarn for me. The colorway is called Grape, and it's kind of it's more of like a burgundy purple, or like a burgundy grape, I guess. It's not grape in the sense of like purple. Definitely, at least for me, it looks more burgundy purple than it does purple. But yeah, the yarn was really wonderful to work with. I think I ordered 10 50-gram balls of it, and I think I used 8.5 or just over 8. I had 1 full skein, or like 1 whole ball, and maybe a half, like a couple of, like the equivalent of maybe half a skein or half a ball in leftovers. So it wasn't quite enough to make the hat that I wanted to, but I did put it in another project, which I'll show in a bit, or I'll show very quickly. Because yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this pattern. It was really wonderful. So much that it's so nice that I'm knitting it twice and possibly thrice. But yeah, so it's very comfortable. I've already worn it a bunch since finishing it. I think it's my favorite sweater next to like this one right here. 2 favorite sweaters. I mean, I love all my sweaters, but these ones especially. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. And then the next thing I will show you is what I used the leftovers, or yeah, what I made with the leftovers. So I had enough to make this headband. And this is called the Thicket headband by Mirella Moments. And it's got a really nice cable, like there's 1, 2, technically 4 cables. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's got like this twisted knot sort of thing up here. So I'll put it on. Normally when I put it on, my hair's up, so this might look a little funny. But it's super cute. I like, this pattern was a lot of fun. Like, it was very easy once you get the 4, I think it's a 4-row repeat. It was very quick to memorize, and so once I had it memorized, it was very meditative to just keep going on it. So, very cute. The pattern shows you how to do the little twist thing at the top. When I first saw it, my mind was boggled. I was like, how do you even do that? But the pattern has written and picture instructions on how to do it. So once I saw the pictures, it just clicked in my head, and I was like, oh yeah, that's how it's done. Yeah, so I mean, like, you could wear it with the knot in the front, or you can wear it with the knot in the back. Or I mean, like, you could even make it and just graft it together instead of doing the twist on it. But yeah, so I have enough yarn to make one more headband, which I am doing, which I'll show you in my works in progress. I am currently surrounded by stuff, so I'm gonna have to start tossing my things over here. My second finished object is a Lyss toque. This is a design that I made, I think, like 2 years ago. And I remember I had said about this time last year that I was going to be rewriting it, but I don't know, I just didn't get around to it. But I am currently rewriting it. I'm now working on rewriting it. So, yeah, I'm rewriting it to make it more streamlined, because I feel like the way it's written, you can, like, it does make the hat. My test knitters had no problem following the pattern. But now that I have a little bit more experience, a little bit more knowledge, a little bit of everything, I feel like I can write the pattern in a much more manageable, like a much more easy to memorize way. So that's what I'm working on, is rewriting it to make it easier to memorize the pattern. The yarn that I used is, is Midnight Cravings. And this is in their Comfort Sport base, which I don't think they have anymore. Or the base that they have is a different sport base, or DK. But the colorway is called Antique Pearl. I think I got this when I was at Knit City way back in 2018, so it's been sitting in my stash for quite a while. I got 3 purples, a dark, a medium, and a light. This is the lightest one. I might turn the other 2 into toques as well. Because I think this is like, I think I've knit 3 or 4 of these for myself, and this is the one that, like, this particular toque design is the one I've worn the most this winter. But yeah, so it's got this, okay, it's a little bit blown out, but this is what it looks like on. Super cute. It's got a pom-pom. It's one of those snap-on pom-poms. The cables, there's 2 sets of cables, so there's like this cable braid here, and then this sort of like winding cable, and then it goes into the decreases. Like, the decreases go with the cables up the top. The brim is knit about, I think it's 6 inches of brim, so that you can fold it up and make it a double thick brim. I like the way that this looks. Like I thought about doing, what is it called? Like when you fold it under? When you fold it under and, what's the word? Like knit it together kind of thing. So it would be like that. But I really like the look of the brim being rolled up like that. I think I prefer that look more. But yeah, so that is my Lyss toque. And yeah, so I'm working on rewriting it. Like I'm actually working on rewriting it now. So that's it for like accessories. Now I'll get into, oh no, that's a lie. I have another technically accessory. So I finally finished my Woodstone wrap. Okay, I finished it up to the point where it needs to be blocked, so it has not been blocked yet. But I finally finished miles and miles and miles of cables and lace. Let's see, where does it start? I guess, oh, this is the end. So it starts down here, and it goes, and it goes, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and there you go. I think, did I measure it? I think it was like 70 inches long or 72 inches long. I think there were 60 to 66 repeats on here. But I made it this long specific. Oh yeah, don't mind the ends. Like I said, I don't clip my ends until I block it, just so like when you block, or at least I find if I weave in ends and then I block it, it kind of helps the end, like the woven in ends, settle into the fabric, and then I can cut it, and then I kind of like shimmy it a little bit to get the end like in, if that makes sense. But yeah, oh yeah, the yarn that I used is Midknit Cravings. Again, I got this yarn last year. This is in their new base, or this was a new base last year called Rustic Twist. It is 67% untreated merino and 33% superwash merino. And this was, what is it? 246 yards per 100 grams, which is about 225 meters. And the colorway is called Pocket Watch. I really like it. It's a really nice, let's see if I can show you this. So it's got the twisted stitches here, a cable, then lace, and then cables again on this side. The reason why I knit it so long was because I wanted to be able to wrap it around multiple times. So I think if I start here, tuck it in on it. Like I wanted something that was going to be like super cozy and warm for like the cold weather. I didn't finish this in time because I think like now it's starting to get warm. Ugh, sorry, my hair is in my face. I should have put my hair up today. Ugh. But yeah, so, I mean, I wanted to be able to wrap it around multiple times to keep it, like, to make it really warm. So this is super cute. Don't mind the hair. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to wrap it around multiple times. Oof. You can only, you could just wrap it around once, or, you know, wear it like a wrap or a stole or whatever it's called, like a long. And once I block it, I think it's gonna grow more width-wise. But I even love the way it looks when just wearing it like this. I'm almost tempted to like make a cardigan that looks like this, like something with, I mean, I've made a cardigan with this design on the back, but seeing it like this makes me want to do a cardigan with the detail, like this detail down the front. But I mean, I'm not well versed in garment design, so that's not something that's going to be on the radar anytime soon. Just something for the back burner. But yeah, so the stitches will really, like the lace will really open up once I've blocked it. But yeah, so that is, oh, did I even say what it was called? This is my Woodstone wrap. This is a pattern that I'm, finally working on the final copy of. Like this was supposed to be my final copy, but I haven't made any changes, but I did change the yarn that I'm using. or I will be changing the yarn that I'm using for my final version of it. But yeah, so that's it for accessories, for finished objects. The next thing I will show is a ripple bralette. This is a design by Jessie May Designs. This is probably, I don't know, I've made like a dozen of these by this point. I already made one black one and gave it to my younger sister. And so I made one for myself, and it's super cute. See if I can like show it over here. It looks small. I think this was the 3rd size, but yeah, it looks small, but it does stretch out because it is ribbing. The yarn that I used is Loops and Threads wool-like, and just color black. So that's yeah. The pattern is very well written, very easy to follow. I'm at the point now where I pretty well have it memorized. I know from making several of these exactly what my recipe is for it, like how many rows I want for the ribbing, or sorry, the bottom ribbing, and then how many rows I do of the 3x3 ribbing before I do the other ribbing on the back. And then I have the decreases memorized for this part as well. So, and I know how many inches my straps are, because in the pattern it has a certain number, and I found that those were too short, and I don't know, it just didn't, I think it was like maybe like an inch or half an inch too short, so I knit them a little bit longer, or maybe it's the other way around. In any case, I have it all written down, exact like my formula for making one that fits me. But yeah, I definitely, with spring and summer coming up, this is a great project, I think. Like, I don't wear it by itself. I normally wear them underneath like a tank top or a dress or something. But this summer, I mean, I would like to get some like a high-waisted jeans or some skirts that, or even like some shorts that might look cute with these little crop top ripple bralettes. Because I have a bunch of different colors. I have beige, pink, blue, and now black. And I'm working on purple, and I've got teal, or like a bluish teal in the wings waiting. Yeah, so that's that. The next finished object, don't mind the, I have woven in the ends, I just haven't blocked it yet. Like I said before, I don't clip my ends until after I've blocked. But this is my Camisole number 2, and this is by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I was inspired by Emily of the High Fiber Knits podcast. She was making, I think she was making this Camisole number 2 in Holstgarn. I think she might have ripped it out though. But in any case, seeing her make this in, or I think she made one of the other camisoles. I don't remember which number it was, but she made another one out of Holstgarn, and I was like, oh, I have Holstgarn in my stash that I've had for years. And so, let's see, where do I got it? So, Holstgarn, and this is their Coast base in the Skylight colorway, so it's 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton. I had 2 balls, so I didn't have enough to hold it double to make a full camisole. So what I did was I held it with mohair. The mohair I got was from a local yarn shop. It didn't have a tag on it, so I don't know if it's just, I'm not sure what the makeup of it is, but I know it's mohair. Like maybe a blend of mohair and wool. But you can see the fuzz on there. It's quite long. Like the fibers are pretty long. But I really like the way that this turned out. Once it's blocked, the stitches will sit much more nicely. It's been sitting folded up for a while, waiting for me to block it. It fits really well. The size that I think I don't remember which size I picked, but I picked the one that was for my bust size. And because it's ribbing, it fits really, it's like kind of form-fitting, and it's, I don't know, like I really like the way it is, and I'm kind of unsure if I want to block it, because I'm not going to block it aggressively. I'll probably just soak it and then just lay it on the blocking mats and not really stretch it out or anything, because I like the way that it fits right now. There's like, I guess it's negative ease. So it hugs really nicely, and I think it'll look really cute with a pair of shorts or a dress, or no, not a dress, a pair of shorts or a skirt. So yeah, it was really, I wouldn't say like it was fun to knit in the sense that like there's a lot of, you know, different techniques or anything, because it's 3x3 ribbing, but I think I like when there's something different in the pattern instead of knitting miles of stockinette. It's nice to do. I really don't mind knitting and purling. I would rather knit and purl than to knit in circles forever. Like this sweater took me, the body was okay, but the sleeves took me like 2 weeks to get through because I was just so bored of them. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just knitting around and around. But like with this, I finished the body in maybe like 3 days. Just sitting down watching podcasts and just, knit 3, purl 3, knit 3, purl 3. I just get into a rhythm and it gets very meditative. I find that when I'm knitting just stockinette around and around, I just get bored and I want to move on to the next thing. But yeah, so that is my camisole number 2. So cute. Can't wait to wear it. My next finished object is, no surprise, another Ranunculus. Look at that detail. So this is the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and this is a very popular pattern. I've knit, I think this is my 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I think this is my 4th one. And it's a crop style. I made 2 modifications to this, but I'll talk about the yarn first. The yarn I bought back in 2019. When I was in Vancouver, I just happened to stumble across this hole-in-the-wall yarn shop that was really tucked away around the corner in like I wouldn't call it an alley, like just a side road, a very small store. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if they're still there. But I was perusing and found this bundle by Handmaiden. So it was called the Glow Bundle. It came with 2 different skeins of yarn. The first one was a blend of 65% silk and 35% linen. It was called, the base was called Lyss. It was a one-of-a-kind colorway. And then the other one is called Bloom, and it was 64% kid mohair and 36% silk. So it's that. Again, one-of-a-kind colorway, so there's no color number or color name. But I love the way that it worked up. I have woven in the ends, like I said. Again, I don't cut them until I block it, and this hasn't been blocked. But yeah, so you can see the stitch detail. Oh, it's so much fun to do the yoke of this particular design. The modifications I made was I started the neckline lower. I started at the second set of stitches after the increases and before the short rows, I think. And I did a long tail cast on instead of I don't remember the name of the cast on that's used in the pattern, but I just did a long tail cast on because I wanted a wider neck. And then the other modification was I went back to I put the sleeves on hold, and I picked up and did, what is that, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, 5 or 6 rows of half twisted rib on each side. And then so once I did the cuffs on the sleeves, I continued on the body until I ran out of yarn. So it is a crop style. I think the Ranunculus is made for like 1 skein of yarn, like 1 skein of fingering, so it's like a crop style anyway. But yeah, I used the needles that were recommended in the pattern. And yeah, I'm excited to wear this. I've got quite a few dresses that I think this will look really nice with. And yeah, oh yeah, I was going to show, I don't know if it'll come up on camera, but kind of the variegation in the, I think it was like the mohair was all one color. I think it was the linen and silk that was more variegated, but I don't know. You can see like kind of lighter pinks and darker pinks in there. If I like, you can kind of see it. But anyways, so that's my Ranunculus. Sorry if I'm like, I feel like I'm speeding through here, but I have a lot to show. My next finished object is a Weekender. This is by Andrea Mowry. Ta-da! This might look familiar. This particular yarn is Queensland Leche, or Queensland Collection Leche. I mentioned on one of my previous podcasts that it was giving me kind of a headache because the first like 4 balls, or the first three or 4 balls that I used, there was a joint. There was at least 2 to 3 joins in each one, and so I would get like maybe 5 to 10 rounds, and then there would be a join, and then I would have to cut the yarn and rejoin it again. So there's quite a few joins on the ins. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of ends that I had to weave in. So what happened was, I think it was after the 3rd ball, I got fed up with it, and I put this on the back burner because I was like, this yarn was driving me nuts. But what I ended up doing was hand winding the rest of my yarn, and basically I took I think in the rest of the last 6 or 7 balls that I had, only 2 more of them had joins in them, and then the other 5 either had 1 join or no joins. And so I took those ones that had the most yarn without a join and worked with those so that I would have less ends to weave in, because I already had like 20 going on. But anyways, I finally finished this. I made a couple modifications. When I did the cast off for the neckline, I found that it was too tight. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it over my head, and so it wasn't going to get over my sister's head. And so I opted to do, Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. And it's way more stretchy, and it actually sits more on the outside of the shoulders. So it might be a little too wide, but if my sister doesn't like it, I can knit her another one. I don't mind. The other modification that I made is, instead of doing the tubular cast off, I think is what's in the pattern, I just again did Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off, because I just didn't have the capacity to do another tubular cast off. I don't know, when I did it on the neck, I feel like I messed it up and it didn't look right. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I think I need to watch a video. I think I need to watch a video on it again, because every time I watch a video, I'm like, okay, I got it, and then I go do it, and then I'm like, oh, this doesn't look right. But anyways, so that's my, this is my 2nd Weekender that I've made. So I'm really excited for my sister to try it on. Hopefully, I did not weave in this, like, the sleeve, because I'm not sure if it's long enough. So if it's not long enough, what I'll do is I'll just pick up the stitches all around here and then unravel it to that point, knit it like another inch longer, and then do the cuff. So we'll see when my sister tries it on if the sleeves are long enough or not. Yeah, so I think that's 2 more ends I have to weave in for that. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got 3 more projects. Last garment though. Okay, so this is called Garnered, and this is by Alicia Plummer. It's really pretty lace sweater. It was really cute, and it's got kind of like 3/4 length sleeves. Pretty sure it comes past my elbow. But yeah, I made a modification to this. It's supposed to have like more of a turtleneck for this particular one, or like this particular, yeah, she's got 2 different versions, and I'm not have one turtleneck sweater and I do love it, but I didn't want this to be a turtleneck sweater. So what I did was what did I do? I think once I finished the neckline, I folded it down and then I just tacked it down. So it's like a folded, when I'm wearing it, it sits more nicely. But yeah, so I've got that folded neckline there. And it's really cute. This is like my second favorite sweater that I've been wearing recently. The yarn that I used for this is Queensland Collection Kathmandu Aran. Oh, there we go. Nope. There you go. And this yarn, I don't think the funny thing is the other Queensland collection, the Leche, had a lot of joins in the first couple of balls. So I was a little weary about knitting with this other Queensland collection one, but I was pleasantly surprised that there was no, I don't think there was a single join. I think there was maybe one of the 8 balls that I used, or however many that I used, I don't remember, but only one of them had a join in it, so that wasn't so bad. I didn't block this because I feel like it didn't need it. I mean, once I, like, when I wash it the first time, I'll certainly let it lay out. But I felt like the lace detail, like the lace looks really nice. I forgot to say what is this made out of? So it's 85% merino wool, 10% silk, and 5% cashmere. So it feels really nice. I'm really liking silk blends. Oh yeah, and then the Queensland Leche for the Weekender. That one was, what is this one made out of? 40% extra fine merino wool, 30% microfiber, 20% milk protein, and 10% silk. So that was for the Weekender. But yeah, anyways, so I think I made a medium, or like the 3rd size, and it fits me perfectly. I like having positive ease in my sweaters, so I've been wearing this one a lot, especially like just around the house. It is so comfortable, and I'm considering making another one in another color, but we'll see. I'm the kind of person that if I find a pattern that I really like, I will knit it twice, if not more. But yeah, so that's Garnered. We'll see if I knit another one. And I've got 2 more finished objects. Okay, so the first one, they're both the same pattern, just different yarn. So this is a baby blanket that I made. Oh, look at that. There we go. Just a simple, like, eyelet row, double seed stitch, garter, double seed stitch, eyelet, double seed stitch. It's just the same. I just did the same kind of pattern, mirrored the pattern all the way through to the other end. Yeah, so this is made out of Bernat Softy Baby. So that's all that there. And this is colorway Gray Marl. Yeah, so I was, someone in my life is expecting a baby at the end of summer, and I was super excited. I've never really knit baby stuff. I mean, I had knit a blanket last year in anticipation to give it to someone, but I didn't get around to sending it to them. So I will probably potentially gift that to this person as well. Oh, I got fluff all over me. But yeah, so this particular yarn, knitting with it, it's very fluffy. It's 100% acrylic, but there was a lot of fluff fiber that was coming out of it, and I felt like I was inhaling it as I was knitting it. And so when I finished knitting it, I wove in the ends, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to throw it in the washer and dryer, because maybe that will help kind of tame down the fluff. And it did, for sure. Like, I don't feel like there's particles fluffing off of it anymore. And it feels like, now that it's gone through the washer and dryer, it feels even softer. I mean, for acrylic, I didn't want to make something that they would have to hand wash. I wanted to make something that's like, oh, you know, if it gets dirty, just wash or dryer and you're good to go. So I'm really excited. I think I cast on 100 stitches on maybe 5mm or 6mm needles, and then I just kind of winged the pattern from there. Yeah, I just was like, I didn't want to make something too complicated, and I didn't want to make something too simple, so I was like, oh, I'll do a mixture of like stitches, eyelets, seed stitch, garter. And I was like, okay, that's it, that's enough for me, and I just repeated it over and over. And so the next blanket I have made for a friend of mine. It's quite a bit bigger. Same stitch count, but I think I used 10mm needles. I think it's 10. US 15? Is that a 10? 10mm? This is very big. If I can stand up. Oh. Yeah, it's like a lap blanket. It's not like a blanket you would, I mean, you could put it on your bed, but it won't like fit a bed. But you can see it's the same design. Eyelets, seed stitch, garter, seed stitch, eyelets, seed stitch, garter, so on and so forth. The yarn that I used for this was Craft Smart Value. I got this on sale, probably for $3 a ball, and I used 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So it was basically $20 to make this blanket, and yeah, I really enjoyed making it. The only thing is, once I got past the halfway point, it got really heavy. So I was holding the yarn double, and like I said, using, I believe it was a 10mm needle, cast on 100 stitches, and then started the pattern from, like, did, I don't know, 10 rows of garter, and then started the pattern. But yeah, once I got halfway through, the blanket was really heavy in my lap, and so it got a little bit cumbersome to work on, and so the second half took me much longer than the first half, that's for sure. And I am currently working on one for my mom, but I didn't bring that because I've already got enough to show. But yeah, so, oh, did I say the colorway? Its colorway is gray, just gray. But yeah, I'm excited to, I need to cut my ends. I don't think I'm going to throw this through the wash. I think it's fine the way that it is. But yeah, I just need to cut the ends off, and then at some point, meet up with my friend and give it to them. Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by stuff. Okay, so I think that's it for finished objects. It must have been like 10 finished objects or something. But yeah, so I will now move on to works in progress, which I have a couple. I mean, I just finished a bunch of big projects. Like, I finished all these within the last like week or two. Yeah, I guess it was like the last week or two, because I was kind of bouncing between projects. And so I just have a couple of smaller projects on. Well, okay, I have a garment, 2 garments, and then 2 accessories. Oh, sorry, I've got 3 garments. I forgot about the one that's sitting right here. I guess I'll start with this one. So in this felted bag that I got from my local fabric store a couple years ago on clearance, like they constantly have these fabric bags on clearance. So living in here along with some needles, clean up my mess over here, is okay. Oh, there we go. Where's the front? Okay, so this, oh, it's kind of hard to show. All right, oh, that's better. So this is called Clotilde, or Clotilde. I'm not entirely sure. But this is, where is it? I have it written down here somewhere. Oh, right, it's on the next page because it's a work in progress. Sorry. Okay, so this is Clotilde. Oh, this is the Clotilde cardigan, and this is by Pernille Larsen. Yes. Okay, so this is a top-down cardigan. It's got this really nice lace detail. I've finished one sleeve, and I have not picked up for the second sleeve yet because I got really excited about some other projects that I'm working on. Or, yeah, my other project that I'm working on. So the yarn that I'm using might look familiar because it's the same yarn that I made the blanket out of. This is Craft Smart Value in the gray colorway. So, this particular cardigan, it's supposed to be, like, you can work it with the buttonholes or without the buttonholes, and I opted to not do the buttonholes. So I just did just a regular, I just followed the pattern for the collar, or this part, as it was without the holes. So, yeah. I knit the smallest size, and I think I did not do a gauge swatch because I'm like, well, I didn't pay, like, the yarn is just the Craft Smart Value. I paid, again, I got it on sale for probably $3. $3, you get one of these. I think is what is it? 354 yards, 324 meters. So you get quite a bit. Oh no, there's a join right there. I'll have to remember to cut that out before I pick up the sleeve. But yeah, so I just, every size starts the same way. And once I got to a certain point, once I got to the point where you go to the chart for your particular size, I figured the smallest size would probably be better because it was already getting, it was already looking, because I was going to knit the second size, but I figured maybe I would just go the smaller size. I was looking at other people's project notes, and there were a couple people that said that it knits up bigger than they expected. So I was like, okay, I'll just do the smallest size and see what happens. If it doesn't fit me, I can give it to someone else, but it does fit, and I actually think it's pretty cute. It's kind of like a cropped cardigan, or like it's shorter than I would normally wear for a cardigan. But yeah, so that is my first work in progress. Hopefully, I mean, the sleeve will probably only take me like maybe a day, not even, if I just sat down and cranked it out, because it is, you do 1.5 repeats, and like working in the round, like I don't magic, I have a short enough cord that I can do it without magic loop. So I've got my needles on this little short cord here, and it's short enough that I can work the sleeves in the round. Let's see. Oh yeah, so it is a size 15, 10 millimeter needles. All right. So that is that. My next work in progress, I'll do my next garment, is living in this bag, which I got from Knit City from the Ginger Snap booth. I saw this from afar as I was walking towards their booth. They had it up on the top shelf, and I really like purple. And I believe these are called death moths or something. Yeah, they have like little skulls on them. That's really cool. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I love the color and I love the theme. So, living in here is another Whitmoor sweater. And again, that's by Amy Lowden. And I've made quite a bit of progress on this. And I made one modification. Let's see if I can... There we go. It's a little bundled up because it's been in the bag for a little bit. But you can see I'm working on 10-inch circular needles for the sleeve. And then once I finish that sleeve, I'll pick up the next sleeve. The modification that I made is the neckline. I opted to do a folded over brim. So basically I knit the neckline twice as long as I wanted, because I didn't want a very wide neckline or like a very tall one. And then I folded it over, and then I just knit them together. You know? Yeah. Basically doubled it over and then, or folded it over and then knit them together. And then I continued the pattern, and then I continued on to the pattern. But it's got, I just love the yoke and the lace detail. It's so much fun to knit. And then, yeah, so I've got, oops, getting caught on here. I don't think I've got too much farther to go on the sleeve. This is what's been eating most of my time. And I'm kind of running into the same issue that I ran into when I was knitting the first one, is once I got to the sleeve, I just got so bored. But I'm going to crank through it. I'll get it done. I'm sure I'll have it done by next time. That's because I really want to wear this, especially with the weather getting warmer. The yarn that I'm using for this, where did I put it, is, I think this is Elsabeth Lavold Classic Silky Wool. I don't know if that's going to focus. But anyways, this is in color number 4. And this is 45% wool, 35% silk, and 20% nylon. You can see I kind of got a theme going on today. Like I've got several projects that have silk in them. This yarn feels so nice and I love working with it. And I plan on going back to that yarn shop at the end of this month and probably picking up another handful to make some more summer garments. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so that is that. Hoping to get some work done on this today as well. Okay. And I love this bag. It's got really long straps so I can like sling it over my shoulders. Really long straps. Alright. Next work in progress is a ripple bralette. It's just living in one of my project bags that I made. Where am I? Oh, I've got lots of things connected to this right now. Wow. This purple looks so much more vibrant in the lighting in this room. Oops. Okay, so this is very hard to show because I've got so much stuff hanging off it, but basically this is another ripple bralette by Jessie May Designs. And you can see here I'm working on the strap at the moment, so I've done my left front and I'll knit the strap until I get to the length that I like for my strap, and then I'll go back and pick up for the right front. So I've just got it sitting on these 16-inch circulars. 3.5 millimeter needles. So yeah, I'm excited to have another ripple bralette for the summer, or for the spring summer, or just in general. I wear these all year round. I wore them throughout the winter underneath my, like under my sweaters and stuff. Yeah. The yarn that I used is again Loops and Threads wool-like, and I've made every one of my bralettes out of this stuff. So this is Loops and Threads wool-like. The color is purple, and I'm holding it double, so I've got 2 of them in here. So hold on, I don't want to pull them both out, but if I can show you. See, I've got 2 balls in there. And I find I get, I'm not sure if I get the gauge that's in the pattern, but I get, on the needle size recommended in the pattern, I get a gauge that I like with holding these 2 yarns together. So, really excited. I'll probably have this done within the week because honestly it doesn't take that much longer to finish once you get to this point. And then once I finish this one, I'll move on to my blue one. And then I'll probably go back and knit another black one, another purple one, another beige one. I'm always going to have one on the needles. Whoops. The next work in progress is living in my fox bag, another one that I made. This is, oh yeah, so you know how I said I was rewriting my Lyss toque? So this is the one that I'm knitting up while I rewrite it. And this is the leftover yarn from my weekender. So this again is the, whoops, Queensland Leche. Alright, so I haven't gotten very far. Knitting the 6 inches of 2x2 ribbing takes quite a while. But you can see like the ribbing goes into the pattern, or like into the cables, which is really cool. So I think I'm like halfway through, or I'm almost halfway through the cable repeat. So it starts like right, oh gosh, the lighting. Well, anyways, in any case, it starts like right there. It's about maybe like 3-4 inches, and then it repeats. But yeah, So I haven't gotten very far on this. I kind of put it down because I got excited about my other projects, but I plan on picking this up and continuing to rewrite that pattern. Yeah. Oh, and then I've got this one stitch marker. That's from Firefly Notes. It's just this little cat. A little cat ear stitch marker. I've bought several of their mixed meows packages of stitch markers because they're like my favorite ones. And then my last work in progress is living in another bag that I made. This is just a little project. I'm slowly making my way through this. This is again the Thicket. Is it the Thicket headband by Mirella Moments? So if it looks familiar, it's the same yarn and same pattern as the headband I showed earlier. So yeah, I'm just using the leftovers that I had of this sweater. So I just like wound them up in balls and then I'm knitting it into a headband. I'm sure I have enough to finish it. So, I mean, not much else to say about this. Once I finish it, I'll probably figure out someone to give it to. Yeah, so that's it for all the knitting. Like all the stuff that I've knit and I'm currently knitting on. I did want to talk about what I am planning to knit this month because I have quite a few. Sorry, I have 3 projects. I have 3 projects that I want to work on this month, like 3 big main projects that I want to work on. And I brought the yarn to show and yeah, just to talk a little bit about what my future plans are. So if you'd like to stick around for that, I will show you what my plans are. So I'm just gonna turn the page of my notes. So I got string on me. So the first project that I plan on working on this month is called the Provence top by Ekaterina Vorobeva. I'm sorry. I'll link it down below. But yeah, it's called the Provence top, and I was actually inspired by Lisa of the Woolblom podcast. Sorry, I can't speak today. She's a relatively new podcaster. I think she's got about 4 episodes. I found her, I think it was like 2 days ago, and then I watched all her episodes. I would highly recommend checking her out because all of the things that she's been knitting on are so like interesting and inspiring. Like they're so different from what I've seen, or like from what I've seen other people knitting, and definitely inspired me. She was wearing this top on the first episode that I was watching, which I think was her 3rd or 4th episode, and so I went back and watched her previous episodes just to see her make progress on this top. But I am planning on using this yarn. It's Ambrosia by Knit 1 Crochet 2, and this is, there is it, 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So again, I'm on the silk train. But it's this really nice pink, like kind of like a baby dusty pink. But I have enough to make. I just brought 3 balls, but I have enough to make the top. However, I think the top calls for worsted weight, and this is more of a DK weight. So I'm not sure. I have to do a gauge swatch and figure out what I'm going to do, because maybe I'll just make I'll just size up, like go on smaller needles and then do a size or 2, or maybe however many sizes up I need to do. So it'll take a little bit of mathing, but I think I'll have it figured out. So that's the first thing I plan on working on this month. The second thing is called, it's a shawl, and it's called Festival of Stitches. And this was a pattern I saw last year, right before I went to Knit City. And so I added it to my queue, and I really wanted to make it in the colors that were on the Ravelry page, like that are on the pattern page. But I couldn't find exactly the right pink that I wanted. And so when I was at the Ginger Snap booth, or actually after I bought that bag, I walked around Knit City again, and then I ended up coming back to the Ginger Snap booth, and I ended up buying these 3. Let's see. So I've got Silver Lining is the gray, Onyx is the black, and Deco is the blue. It's coming up a lot like a lot more vibrant on the camera. It's kind of more of a, I wouldn't say like toned down. It's just, I feel like cameras have a hard time with blues and teals. This is definitely looking more blue, vibrant blue, and it's actually more of a, I'll say more of a teal. But yeah, so these are the 3 colors that I plan on using for the Festival of Stitches. And I'm really excited because, I mean, like I said, I went to Knit City with a plan last year. I had 4 projects that I bought yarn for, plus 1 extra one. And then I don't know, I just lost steam with knitting and life got busy. And so now I'm finally picking up where I left off at Knit City. So that's project number 2. And then project number 3 is going to be my Woodstone wrap. And the yarn that I'm going to be using, this was very graciously sent to me by Estelle. So this is their Eco Shetland Worsted. So this is 100% organic Shetland wool, and it's got really great color. Like, it's got flecks of like kind of like mustard yellow and like a little bit of a brassy color in there, and more of a like penny copper tone. So it's got, the camera doesn't quite do it justice. But yeah, so that's one of the yarns I got. And then the other one I got is Alpaca Whisper. And this is, let's see, what's the percentage on these? 54% baby alpaca, 24% mulberry silk, and 22% super kid mohair. So again, I'm sticking on the silk theme. Everything I'm knitting on has a little bit of silk. Okay, maybe not everything. But anyways, so I plan to hold these double. So this one, oh sorry, I should have said the colorway. So this color is called Caramel, and I think this one is also Caramel. Where does this say? Oh yeah, it's right there. Yeah, so both of these are called Caramel, but you can see that this is a lighter caramel than this. But when I hold them together, it's gonna be beautiful. Like the Shetland wool, and then the mohair, the alpaca, super kid mohair, and mulberry silk. I think they will look and feel really good together. Oops, I'm holding that backwards. But yeah, I feel like they're going to look and feel so good together. I mean, like, this is kind of rustic, but it's also like a soft rustic, if that makes sense. And this is just like cloud soft. So I'm really looking forward to casting on my Woodstone wrap with this. Yeah, so those are my 3 main projects for this month. Like I said, I've got like just a couple of smaller projects, and then like 2 garments that I'm also going to be working on like in the background, but my main focus is going to be those 3 projects. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I've got to show today. So I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to, and it's been really great catching up. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next podcast, which I'm aiming for 3 weeks from now. So hopefully by then I'll have lots to show, like a lot to show, maybe not as much as today, but still a lot to show. Hopefully I'll have made lots of progress on my main 3. And I plan to be posting more on Instagram, so if you want to see my progress with my projects, you can follow me on Instagram, and everything will be linked in the description box. So yeah, anyways, I guess that's it. Thanks again for stopping by, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting! Bye!